The harsh truth is that you have only 1 in 3 chances of getting your H1B visa picked. And there are 6 points to the solution. Ready? Immigration is an age-proof concept. Even animals and birds immigrate for better opportunities. As per many scientific studies, human race traces its origin to Africa, from where people migrated to places all around the world. And in the last 250 years or so, the place that has seen more immigration than any other is America. This place was exclusively inhabited by Native Americans and also sometimes known as Indians or Red Indians. It is because Christopher Columbus went in search of India and ended up landing in the United States area, and he thought this was India and they started calling these people Indians. That said, over the years, United States emerged as the land of opportunities, and the people who made this a land of opportunities were immigrants. If a person is not a Native American, they are an immigrant themselves, or children of immigrants, or descendants of immigrants. In fact, 99% or even more people in the United States trace their roots outside of the American continent. What is happening now is that United States is not the most powerful country just economically or militarily, but America also has a strong soft power. And this soft power of America is unparalleled by any other country. And people think this soft power is projected by their companies such as McDonald's or KFC and other tech giants such as Microsoft and Apple. But you know what? But the soft power is also largely projected by American movies and music. And when people outside of America watch American movies and see what America looks like, they then naturally compare America to their own local conditions. And then they aspire to be in America because they are also inspired by the American lifestyle as shown in the movies. And not just that, there are countless examples of people who have gone to America and have made it big, inspiring many others. No doubt, America provides not just more opportunities, but better opportunities that no other country can provide. Or even I would say, no country has ever provided. But the big question is, does it still hold? Is it true even now? To better understand what is happening, let us consider 3 phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. Phase 1 is when you come to America as a student to get education. If you like it here and get a job, then you transition to Phase 2. Some people skip the Phase 2 and come directly for work. But the very condition of Phase 2 is that you need to have a job ready. And you must also get the work visa. Most commonly it is H1B visa. But a point to be noted is that H1B is a temporary work visa. It is not permanent. The conditions of H1B visa clearly state that the company, whichever company hired you, must have tried long enough to hire a local person, a local citizen, and only because they were not able to find somebody are they hiring you. And they are hiring you temporarily for 3 years, which can be extended by 3 more years. But although it is temporary, it is also a dual intent visa. Because while being on H1B visa, you can actually apply for a green card. You cannot do that while you are on a student visa, by the way. Okay? If you are on a student visa and then you graduate, okay, let's say you even get a PhD, you published a lot of papers, you have filed a lot of patents, and then you get a job and you are working on F1 visa, on student visa, but on OPT, optional practical training. And now while you're working, you have a very strong portfolio. Can you apply for a green card then? Actually not. Okay, because you cannot apply for green card while being on F1 visa, because F1 visa is not a dual intent visa like H1B. You have to be on H1B to be able to apply for a green card. So you must transition to H1B, and this is where the real trouble comes. Transition from Phase 1 of a student visa to Phase 2 of H1B is very unpredictable. H1B unfortunately is not a point-based system like they have in Canada and perhaps Australia. H1B is completely based on a lottery system. And a silly lottery system can never differentiate between 2 candidates. Even if you are from a great school, you have done a lot of work, you have strong portfolio, you have research publications, patents, you are treated exactly the same way as somebody who only has a bachelor's degree. There are about 1 million international students in America, and a huge proportion of those students are graduate, which is master's or PhD students. Despite such large number, there are only 20,000 visas available for all these many people to work on. When I say 20,000, which is the 20,000 reserved visas, H1B visas, for them to work. and then you have 65,000 visas regardless of your education. As long as you have a bachelor's degree, you are good to go. So what happens very unfortunately is that all those people who have advanced degrees from this country have to compete with those people who do not even have those advanced degrees from a foreign country. If your number is not picked in the first lottery of 20,000 slots, then you get into the second lot of 65,000 now, where you're competing in a much larger pool. And you're not really competing, it is just your luck. The harsh truth is that you have only 1 in 3 chances of getting your H1B visa picked. And remember, it is even harder for those who have non-STEM degrees. Okay, because if you have a degree from America, you can still work on OPT for 3 years if you have a STEM degree, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if your degree does not qualify to be a STEM degree, you have only 1 year worth of work permit. And then if your visa is not picked, you pack your bags and go. And mind it that these are the people who at least got a job. Majority of the people won't even end up getting a job offer. And it is because American companies obviously, and they should rightly, prefer American candidates, citizen candidates, and then green card holders, which are permanent residents. They do not want to hire international students because their likelihood of visa getting picked up is quite low. Why would they want to take such a big risk when they can have somebody who doesn't need any visa process done? And moreover, they don't even have to spend money in filing their visa paperwork. And let me just give you a bitter pill, okay? A master's degree, for the most part, without prior work experience is no different from a bachelor's degree. If a local candidate has a bachelor's degree, that person is still more preferable than a foreign international student who has a master's degree from America. And that is why local people are much more likely to even land an internship, because when companies are looking to hire interns, they are already looking at their immigration status, and they use the immigration status as a means to filter candidates. And what ends up happening is that many people come to America, spend quite a bit of money, and then they end up going back to their home countries. And mind it that they go back to their home countries with quite heavy loans, because education in America is not all that cheap unless you have a strong scholarship. So what many people end up doing is that they go for a higher degree. If they came here as a bachelor student and if they could not land a job, then they transition to a master's degree. And then if a person is unable to land a job after a master's degree, sometimes they even apply for a second master's. Very rarely people go for PhDs, but then PhD is a different ballgame altogether. But most people transition to their second master's. And what some people do is that they end up going to desi consultancies. And through those desi consultancies, they try to work as contractors in other companies. And I would strongly recommend against doing any such thing. I am telling you, going through a desi consultancy path is a path of life of hell. But the worst that some people do is that they enroll in universities that give day 1 CPTs, which is curricular practical training. Now the condition of a CPT is that you have to spend at least 9 months or 2 full semesters before you can apply for a work permit through curricular practical training, which is a part of your degree earning. But what some people unfortunately did is that they enrolled in fake universities, and these fake universities were actually made up by the USCIS or Border Protection, some agency there, okay? And they were all caught. Remember one thing, never ever break the law. Always respect the laws 100%, whichever country you are in. And I'm telling you, if your university is giving you day 1 CPT, do not go for it. Enroll in some well-established, well-known university. So realistically speaking, even if you have a STEM degree, getting a job is a really difficult game. And then getting a green card is a whole different story altogether. All efforts to make amendments to the laws have only failed. And people who have their birth country, such as India, they have to wait for 200 years before their turn for a green card comes. So it is in many ways a hopeless situation, is it? Or is there any other way? Let me tell you, there is a way. But the solution I'm giving is quite difficult. Let's be clear about it. And there are 6 points to the solution. Ready? Point number 1. If you come to the US as an international student, come exclusively for STEM degrees, okay? Because STEM degrees will give you opportunities that non-STEM degrees will not give you. Point number 2. Only go to well-reputed, well-ranked universities that are well-recognized. Do not go to some random university that most people have not heard of. 3. It is best to come to America after you have had some work experience. If you are looking for an internship or a job opportunity, prior work experience weighs very heavily. Tip number 4. Try as hard as you can to get an internship while you are enrolled in a degree program. Point 5. Go for a PhD. Be realistic. Everybody here has a master's degree. Okay? If you pick a random student working in any university, let's say you go to Texas A&M University in College Station. Okay? If you see any international student walking by, stop them and ask what degree they are enrolled in, undergrad or grad. They are most likely, very high chance is that they are enrolled in a master's degree. See, the point is that if you cannot be the best among all those people who have master's degrees, if your profile is not the best, then the next way is to make your profile somewhat different and unique. You will need to build a solid portfolio. Let me give you a real example of what is going on right now. I'm helping or working with one of the students at a different university, not at my university, to help him get an internship. Okay? And then he reached out to me saying that there is a great internship opportunity at a very big company, which is one of the FANG companies. Okay? And then he asked me if I could help him land an internship there. And my brother happens to work for the same company. So I reached out to my brother and told him that, see, this is a very bright student. He was a gold medalist in his undergraduate degree, and then he's enrolled at a very good university. So can you help him get that internship? So my brother said, yeah, sure. So send me his CV and I will upload his CV on the system, and then it will generate an email, and that email will be sent to this candidate. Okay. And then my brother went to that website, their company's internal system, and then saw that for that one position, let me just tell you at least one thing. It was a machine learning internship. Okay. He saw that for that one machine learning internship, there were 1,300 applications in. Okay. And many of those applications were much stronger portfolios than this candidate had. This candidate was a gold medalist from a decent university, from one of the NITs. Okay. And then there were many applications by people who were the first rank or second rank holders from IITs, had published a lot of papers, and then were enrolled in top universities such as Stanford and Carnegie Mellon. Then realistically speaking, what chance does he has to get picked up, at least even to be interviewed? Among those 1,300 applications, even if he was number 20, do you think that that company would pick 20 people to interview for that one position? They will call 3, 5, 10 or maybe even 12 people to interview, right? Nobody is going to interview 20 people for one internship, because most likely they will filter out all the applications and pick, let's say, top 10. And among the top 10, they will pick one candidate. So what is the solution to that? So I told him, and I'm telling you as well, that you know what, keep looking for an internship, but do not try to tie your self-esteem and hope for future with the likelihood of you getting an internship. Okay. What you need to do is that while you're a master's student, keep building your portfolio. And what I mean by that is that consider a plan of applying for PhD. By the way, this plan is not for everybody. Most people are not capable of going through the grind of a PhD program. But if you think you are capable, then do one thing. Try working on research projects with professors and make sure that those research projects eventually result in publications. Now, if you have a research program going on while you're a master's student, and then if you do not land a job after graduating, no matter how good you are, because it's a lottery system, somebody else might get picked up and you might not get picked up. It is quite silly, right? So the solution to that is that you build your research profile strong enough where while graduating you are applying for jobs, but you also simultaneously apply for PhD programs. And then if you can land a good PhD program, if you can get a position in a good PhD program because of the portfolio that you have been building so far, that will really help you. And with that, let us transition to last point, point number 6. Get as many publications and patents to your name as possible. A great example of this is my own uncle. I discuss his journey in this video. You can actually access that video in a link that is given in the description.
So I applied for under extraordinary ability EB1 category.
Okay.
By then I had about 40 publications.
Okay, so this is important. So you applied for extraordinary ability green card. Okay. And then what was the most important criteria for you to claim extraordinary ability? What was your profile like?
Okay. So for EB1 category, one should have a number of research publication in international journals, and they have to have international stature and being invited to participating or chairing the conferences and whatnot. So I had all those I met all of the qualifications. And I had about 40 publications in very high-profile journals, and I had about 10 patents.
You had 40 publications and 10 patents at the time.
At that time.
And how many of these publications came from your PhD program and industry?
Okay, I published from my PhD programs about 12 publications.
12. As a doctoral student, you published 12 papers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And where did you publish those papers?
And I published in high-profile journals like Nature, Science, Cell.
You publish in Nature. Okay, so those who don't know, Nature, Science, and Cell in Sciences are the best journals in the world, and they are extremely hard journals to publish your papers in. And you were able to publish in those journals while as a doctoral student, and you had 12 publications in total.
In total.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So and then you also had publications from industry as well.
Right.
Okay. So totaling that, you said you had 40 publications.
There were 40 publications. When by the time I was able to apply for my green card.
Once you applied for green card at end of 2000, how long did it take for you to get your green card?
Okay. During those times, we had two steps for the green card process. One is what is called I-140 approval. The second thing is 485 adjustment of status.
It's the same today still.
Yeah. So by I-140 was approved within a year.
Okay, it took 1 year.
It took 1 year. In 2001 it was approved, and then we filed for adjustment of status in 2001, towards the end of 2001, and I recall that we received our green cards in 2002.
So it took just 2 years for you to get your green card.
That's correct.
On extraordinary ability green card category. So now you have been at CDC for 21 years, right? So what do you do now at CDC? As I said, this path is not for everybody. Very few people can do it. But if you think you are able to do it, then you know that there is a way to handle the situation. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind, and may God bless the United States of America.